Well, a very good evening to Anna Harter and anyone else that's up early. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David, on yet another glorious evening here in Gulf Harbour. And I bet it's even fine in Whangarei and sunny all day today. It's just been one of those lovely, lovely wintry days. At the moment, it's 16 degrees and about 3 knots of wind from the north-northeast. 1016 steady on the bar and 95% cloud cover. Just a really good day. There's not much left to do outside, unfortunately. So, we're really waiting for the lovely chilly nights where we can have the fire blazing and have some good soup on. But it's a bit difficult to do that when the day's like this. We haven't had the fire on the last few evenings. So, and I sent a couple of pictures off from my walk yesterday, and people didn't believe the blue sky in New Zealand. So there you are. I'm going to talk about the extreme weather in the USA in a moment, but we've got Anna Harter on passage to dinner out, so I know they're there. Anna Harter, Gulf Harbour. Yeah, there's a bit of noise on, a bit of static crashes. There must be some weather around. Go ahead, though, David. Over.
Very good. Our position is 2210 We're on 3402 and the speed of 5 knots. We've got wind from the south 12 knots. About 5% cloud cover, those trade wind clouds, and the barometer is 1014.
Okay, just yeah, I'm just getting quite a lot of static crashes that took you out on I've got you at 2210, and let me just check the. It must be about 179, I think, that you have still on the east there. 340 true 5 knots with a southerly 12, which is good. You just see on my GFS anyway, just see you're just sort of on the border of a bit stronger wind, but I'll see what David has for you in a minute.
I have 12 knots.
You have 12 knots. Oh, well, there you are. But what about tomorrow? 5% cloud cover and 1014. So let's see what he's going to offer you for tomorrow.
7 to 10.
Oh dear, 7 to 10. Well, it just goes to show whatever he's looking at is a bit different from what I'm looking at on the GFS here. So, oh, I see. Yes, it is 7 to 10 on the GFS if I move you forward to where you'll be. Well, a very peaceful travel to dinner out tomorrow. Anyway, David, over.
Yep, we've done we're doing wing on wing for the since we left Minerva, which has to go today, which takes a bit of palaver with the ball. Before today, once the 12 side down over.
What was that last comment?
The last night the 12s were a bit confused, but once they settled down this morning,
Oh yeah, it's with that light wind, it's a bit of a pain if the swells are a bit confused. Oh yeah, there is a lot of static crashes. I'll just have what I might do is I'm going to pass the microphone for him to give a bit of an update on what the weather is for the next few days, and he can tell me where these static crashes I'm getting on the radio might be coming from. Stand by.
Yeah. So you want me to?
Yep.
Okay. Well, good evening, all of you out there that are listening, and as promised, the synoptic view for the northwest Pacific for the next few days.
Southwest Pacific.
What did I say?
Northwest Pacific.
Well, actually, this is
the northern
Southwest
part of the Southwest Pacific.
The northern part of the Southwest Pacific. That'll confuse you. Anyway, that shows a very broad, benign anticyclone system between Fiji and Minerva. And that goes right through the 25th, which happens to be Sunday. This is substantiated by 500 millibar ridging the prognosis at 500 millibar indicates that that's the case, which is good. However, this is not the case of the big picture south of 25 south, where we see rather nasty looking surface depressions that are moving west to east. Now, for the general picture between Minerva to Fiji or Tonga, we'll see pretty much light air, much of it quite variable, to be honest with you. For Wednesday, light air between Minerva and Fiji, mostly southeast. For Thursday, looks like light to variable winds. For Friday, light west to west-northwest air. And for Saturday, light west to west-southwest. And for Sunday, it looks like west to west-southwest light air as well. Now, back on Sunday, south of 25 south, expect a fairly aggressive depression with westerlies 30 knots, maybe even more than that. North of 25, though, so those of you that are at Minerva, that would include you, westerlies may get up to 20, but lighter air north of there. So that seems to be about the dividing line. So in general, the strong winds are south of 25 between now right through Sunday. And traveling from Minerva northwards, we will see light to variable winds, I would say. Maybe some convection over Minerva on Friday, and there might be some possible light showers as well on Sunday, maybe. So there we have the general picture based on me averaging 3 models between now and Sunday. And this, of course, could change, as recently 3 days seems to be about the limit of any real accuracy. Not unusual, by the way. So that's about it for me. And here is the chief.
Well, we learned. It's funny that David says the chief. Don't believe a word of it. But we did read today in a lot of interesting little facts that somebody sent me. You heard about the expression "the rule of thumb." Well, way back in the 1600s, I think it was, in England, as it was at the time, a man was allowed to whip his wife with a stick no thicker than his thumb. So the terminology came about, rule of thumb. Bet you didn't know that. And I bet you didn't want to know that either. It seems that at least we have done a bit better for ourselves, well, in some parts of the world anyway. The women.
Yeah, the sticks are getting bigger.
Yeah, the sticks are getting bigger in some parts of the world, I think. Okay, I will just see if there's anybody wanting to make any question or comment about the outlook for the weather in our part of the world, Southwest Pacific. There are still people waiting to head off. There's some extreme weather in the southeast of the USA, and a lot of people are actually dealing with power outages at the moment, which is a bit tough because there's some very, very hot temperatures down there. Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, and Georgia. Main threats for them are damaging wind gusts, large hail, and isolated tornadoes. One went through a tornado in Mississippi on Sunday that left a lot of people injured, actually, with a lot of structural damage. And 35 million people are at the moment under heat alerts. So if they have power cuts, that's not so hot. I mean, yes, it is hot. It's not so good. So there you are. Better to enjoy where you are. And I tell you what, it's just been lovely enjoying the weather here. Haven't quite forgotten the horrible summer, but it does help to get this weather at this time of year. Okay, is there anybody for Gulf Harbour Radio? Please call now. Nothing heard, and he didn't really explain why I'm getting these static crashes on the radio airwaves.
So let me
So
look at the satellite.
he is going to have a look at the satellite picture, and if he looks at the satellite picture, he might as well tell you what he's seen. There's actually quite a few boats going from island group to island group at the moment, so if you're heading to Vanuatu, don't forget I can send you the correct email addresses to contact Customs and Immigration, and also a one-page sheet with all the festivals on it if you want it. I think there's a lot of people in the Vavau group, so I imagine that some of those are going to start moving around. This lovely calm weather would be great in the Hapais as well, but I don't see too many people there on the AIS anyway. So, yep, just a lot of very pleasant, lazy weather type days to enjoy. So, unless there's anybody else wanting anything, we shall call it quits. Is David going to make any comments on the satellite picture? Here he is.
I would say any problem, Trish, that we have is from here, looking at pretty much north of where we are here in Gulf Harbor, right up through North Cape, and even further up to, I would say, 30 south and 175. It's all pretty aggressive looking cloud, so it's quite possible that that's what your problem is. However, between, say, here, if you had a direct line between here and Minerva or Fiji, there's really not much. You're just scattered, fairly low to medium level clouds, but I don't see any CVs that would interfere. North, just north of Viti Levu, there is a trough, and that's pretty aggressive, not very wide, but that could possibly cause a bit of a problem up there. But in between there and us, not much, other than what I just said earlier. So there you have it.
Okay, well, thank you for that, and it has calmed down a little bit, but yeah, we do chuckle because every time we look at our lovely weather, we see that the Coromandel and Great Barrier are not getting it as lovely as we're getting it. All right, folks, we'll be back again tomorrow, and if there's anything anybody wants, you know how to find us, ghradio@extra.co.nz, and we shall bid you all good night, and the frequency's yours if you want it. Cheers all.
Thank you very much, Gulf Harbor.